Hello everybody, welcome to my video training. Today I'm going to talk about Vlan trunk. So what is a trunk? We have two names up here, a trunk port and a trunk link. The trunk port is the port that allow multiple VLAN traffic, and a trunk link is a link between two switches you see up here on this diagram. So you just keep in mind that a trunk link is always between two switches, and a trunk port is the port that is allowing multiple VLAN traffic. So right now I'm using packet tracer, and I'm gonna go and show you how you can configure a trunk link and a trunk port. So in this diagram I have two switches up here and two PCs. PC 0 is connected to switch 1 and PC 1 is connected to switch 0. So before I go to the configuration, I would like to tell you that I put PC 1 and PC 0 to the same VLAN. They're going to be on VLAN 10. I didn't do the configuration yet because I want to show you something. So right now, what you need to understand about configuring a trunk port is this switch port command. So if you see a switch port command on an interface, that means that interface is acting as a layer 2 interface. So if you are working on a layer 3 switch, sometimes you have to do the no switch port command on an interface to make that interface act like a layer 3 interfaces. So right now I'm gonna go and open up the command prompt up here for switch 1, and let's do some show command. I'm gonna do enable mode, and I'm gonna do show switch port, so interfaces trunk, to see if you have any trunk port on the switch. And you see up here on the switch 1 we don't have any trunk port. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna go to switch 0 and do the same show command again. Go to enable mode, show interfaces. That's how you can verify if you have trunk port on your switch. Interfaces trunk. So you see up here we don't have trunk port either on this on switch 0. So what I'm gonna be saying is, if you don't have a trunk port on this switch, that means this link up here is not a trunk. So right now this link, we can make this link to be a trunk, but we have to go and do the configuration. So I'm going to show you how to do the configuration. And right now I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this port to belong to VLAN 10, like FA0/1 on switch 0 and FA0/1 up here on switch 0. So I'm gonna make them belong to VLAN 10 up here. But so let me start with switch 1. So in order to make a port belong to a VLAN, you need to go to the global configuration mode, config team, and the command you use is switch port mode. And let's use the question mark because I want to show you something up here. Oh no, sorry, we have to go to the interface mode. Interfaces, FA 0/1, and we do switch port mode, and switch port mode, and we have three options up here. We have access we have dynamic, we have trunk. And if I set, let me come back up here. If I do switch port mode access, that means this trunk is going to be accessing only one VLAN. So this the port is going to be sending only one VLAN information. So if I do the switch port mode access, and usually that's what you need to do on port that are connected to PCs, because you don't need to send like multiple VLAN on the PCs, you know. Usually the port that are connected to PCs, they're going to be switch port mode access. And the switch port mode dynamic auto up here. So let me bring up this. The switch port mode dynamic auto up here. This is for the trunk. So, but the trick I'm gonna tell you is, if I have switch port mode dynamic auto on two interfaces, like on this interface is FA02 on switch 1 and FA02 on switch 0, you will never gonna have a trunk form between those on this link. And the reason why is there is a protocol. Let me show it to you up here. There is a protocol called DTP, and DTP stands for Dynamic Trunking Protocol. Dynamic Trunking Protocol. And this DTP up here, if I have a switch port mode dynamic auto, because this protocol is used by this switch to send DTP packet. So if they are sending DTP packet, that way they can form a trunk without configuration, you know. So if you are using like DTP, if the switch are sending DTP packet, they can form a trunk without you having to do a configuration on the link. So and dynamic desirable up here. If I have switch port mode dynamic desirable, that means the switch is sending DTP packet. So all this switch dynamic auto mean that the switch is not sending DTP packet. So you have to keep that in mind. If I have switch port mode dynamic auto, that means the switch is not sending DTP packet. If I have switch port mode dynamic desirable, that means the switch is sending DTP packet. And if I have switch port mode trunk up here, that means the switch if I have it on both sides, we're gonna have a trunk on the link, and also we're gonna have the switch, the both switches sending DTP packet. So just keep in mind these two options. We're gonna have DTP packet sending. We're gonna be sending DTP packet on the link. But if you have a dynamic auto, there is no DTP packet sent on the interface, so the link will not the trunk link will not form. So just keep that in mind. And the access mode up here is for turning off the trunking protocol. So if you do switch port mode access, that means that link will never be a trunk. It's gonna be an access port, and an access port means that port is gonna send only one VLAN information. So just keep that in mind. So I hope you understand what I was trying to explain to you. So I'm gonna go back to PC to the switch 1 for the configuration. And you see up here in packet tracer we don't have we have dynamic. So let me do dynamic up here, dynamic, and let's use the question mark. I want to show you something. You see I have dynamic auto. You say set trunking mode dynamic negotiation. It's going to negotiate the trunking, the trunk link, but it's not going to form a link, because if both sides are configured to dynamic auto, they will not gonna form a trunk, because they are not sending DTP packet. if I configure this one as a dynamic desirable, they're gonna be forming a trunk because they are sending DTP packet. So dynamic auto to dynamic auto will not gonna be a trunk, but dynamic auto to dynamic desirable is gonna be a trunk. Dynamic desirable to dynamic desirable is gonna be a trunk. So you have to keep that in mind. And dynamic and switch port mode trunk on both sides is gonna form a trunk, and it's gonna be sending DTP packet. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go back up here and I'm gonna configure the that port to be an access port. And the way to do it is switch port mode access. Let's use the question mark, and that's it. And now the next command you need to do to assign that port to the VLAN is switch port access, and you put the VLAN number, VLAN 10, and it says VLAN 10 access VLAN 10 does not exist. It's creating VLAN 10. So the switch is helping me because I forgot. It was a step I should do before I assign the port to the VLAN. But don't worry, sometime if you forgot to create the VLAN, the switch is going to create the VLAN for you. That's what the switch did appear on this configuration. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm done with switch 1. I'm going to go to switch 0, and I'm going to configure that port to be an access port. An access port. So it's interface FA 0/1. We're gonna go fast this time. Switch port mode access, and switch port mode switch port access VLAN 10. And now you see it doesn't have the VLAN created because I like what I say is gonna create the VLAN for me. But for like if you are studying at home, don't forget to do that step first, because for like I'm just trying to show you the trunk port concept. But so if you are doing the configuration, just create the VLAN first, and you now you assign the port to the VLAN. So and right now I assign those port to the VLAN, and you see up here this link up here is not a trunk. So if this PC try to communicate, PC0 try to communicate with PC1, this packet is not gonna go travel. It's not gonna go through this link, because this link is an access link. Those ports are like access port, so they're not gonna send the VLAN 10 information. In order for them to send VLAN, in order for this link to send the VLAN 10 information, I have to configure this link as a trunk link. So let's to prove what I just say, let's try to ping PC from PC0. We try to ping PC1 and see what's gonna happen right now. And I'm gonna go to the simulation mode, and I'm gonna try to edit the filter up here. I'm gonna do ICMP. Okay, and from here I'm gonna go to PC0. I'm gonna open up a command prompt, and I'm gonna ping PC1. Ping 192.168.1.11. And you see this packet is leaving PC0. So let's capture the packet. Let's see as the packet as it leaves PC0. You see the packet is not going, it's not going past this switch up here. You see And the reason why is this trunk up here is not this trunk is not a trunk link. That's why this packet doesn't go past this switch up here. You see this red mark up here. That means the packet is not traveling, you know. You see the packet is not going nowhere. So, and what happened is I'm gonna try to go and do the configuration. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to configure this link as a trunk. One of these one of the port, all those two ports are dynamic auto, so that's the reason why they don't form a trunk. So I'm gonna change it to one of these ports to be dynamic desirable, and you're gonna see that dynamic desirable is when I configure one of these ports as dynamic desirable, you're gonna have the trunk link on this link up here. We're gonna have a trunk. So let me go to switch 1, and I'm gonna go to interface, FA0/2, and the way you did is switch port, mode, dynamic, desirable, and we press enter. And let's go back and see what happened right now. So let's switch to real time to see what's happening right now. So I hope you see the trunk, the port is going down, you know, because I changed the configuration on fast internet FA0/2. So let's give it some time. It's trying to form the trunk because, you know, right now it's sending the DTP packet. So let me go up here and let me try to do the simulation again. I'm gonna go from PC here. I'm gonna do the thing again. And let's watch the ping. Let's watch the ping up here. You see the ping is now going, you know. So that means we have a trunk, you see. The packet is going to PC1, you know. So let's go back and check the switch. Let's go and check the switch. Switch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do show interface trunk. Interface is trunk, and you see we have a trunk, you know, and the trunk is on the port FA0/2. You say the mode is on, and the encapsulation. I didn't explain you what this means, but this is the protocol they use to encapsulate the packet. This is the protocol they use to put the VLAN information, because this packet, the switch will have a way to find what VLAN number that packet belongs. So in order to do that, they use this encapsulation protocol called 802.1q. Just keep that in mind. So, and it say the port FA0/2 VLAN allow. So that means this VLAN are allowed on the trunk, you know, all this VLAN up here. And it say VLAN allow and active in the management domain, because this is the only VLAN that I have configured on the switch. That's why it's showing up here, this VLAN up here. See, and you see these VLAN are allowed, and they are the only one configured on the switch. I mean, I configured VLAN 10, but the rest of those VLAN they are on the switch by default. So moving down up here, you say VLAN in spanning tree forwarding step. This one I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to go into details because you need to understand about spanning tree in order to understand this information up here. But what it means is the spanning tree protocol is a protocol that avoid loops, on the network. This is the protocol we use to avoid traffic that are looping on the network. We use the spanning tree protocol. And you see up here, these VLAN are the VLAN that is configured, so they are in the spanning tree state, spanning tree forwarding state, So basically that's what it means. And we're gonna go back and check the DTP packet. So I'm gonna go to the simulation mode, edit the filter, and I'm checking right now the DTP packet. So on that switch, let's see, and you see this switch up here is sending DTP right now. It is sending DTP, because I configured the trunk to be dynamic desirable. You see, it's sending DTP packet, so just keep that in mind. So and one more show command I would like to show you is let me go back to the switch. One more show command I would like to show you is show interface fa0/2 and this little keyword switch port. And you see up here, let me go back, go a little bit more. You say switch port is enabled. That means the port is a layer 2 port. And you say administrative mode is dynamic desirable. So that means that's what I just configured, dynamic desirable, in order to send the DTP packet. And the operational mode is a trunk, because the port already, the link is already configured as trunk, because we have the dynamic desirable up here. So these two, they go hand in hand. An administrative trunking encapsulation, that's what I was telling you, that it is the protocol that is used by the switch in order to put the VLAN number on the packet. So this is what they, and this protocol is a standard protocol. It can be used on different vendor switch. Like you can use it on a switch, on a Cisco switch, or on a HP switch, or any kind of switch you have. You can use the that1 key protocol in order to put the put the VLAN number information. And the operational trunking encapsulation, this is that1 key too, the negotiation of the trunking is on, because we have a dynamic desirable up here. That's the reason why it's on. And it's a access VLAN mode is VLAN 1, and the trunk native mode is VLAN 1. So in the upcoming video, I will explain you about the native VLAN, because right now I don't have enough time to explain you what the native VLAN means. And the voice VLAN, this is for voice over IP. It's a none, because we don't have anyone configured. And this one is a little bit complex, to understand. But right now I don't have enough time to explain you about the private VLAN. But you can do research on your own, And it's a trunking VLAN enable all. So that means this trunk is going to allow all VLAN to pass through this trunk. So that's what it means up here. So you can go on the interface and tell this interface what VLAN you want to allow, But in this case, if you don't do it by default, it's going to allow all. So just keep that in mind, And that's what I was trying to explain to you. And I hope you understand this trunk port concept and this link trunk concept by watching this video. And I would like to thank you for watching, and I will see you for my next video. Thank you.